In this video, you're going to have to put on your big boy pants and your big girl panties for this, because what I'm telling you today is the truth and nothing but the truth. And it's going to receive some feedback that's going to be very negative. It's going to be abrasive, perhaps, by those parties that benefit from this system that we're in, called the judicial system, or government, as it were. But it's the truth anyway, and you cannot change the truth. The truth lasts forever. It never ends. But a lie does not last forever. People continue to perpetrate or perpetuate a lie to keep the people who are listening to those lies believers of the lie. So they have to continue to lie again and lie again to keep that lie alive. In this case, it's the state versus you. The state versus whomever. So I'll use as an example the state of California versus John Doe. That's an expression or an example that they've been using for many, many years in the legal system. John Doe, a fictitious character, even though there may be someone on the planet named John Doe, but we know in this particular example that I'm using it fictitiously. So the state of California versus John Doe. Let me explain this to you. First of all, in law, in order for you to be brought before a judge, as it were, there has to be harm or injury done to another human being or property. This is real law that I'm telling you. Harm has to be done to a human being or property. So, if, for example, hypothetically speaking, if my name was John Doe and someone hit me in the eye with a brick, right? And let's say that person's name is Jane Doe, my spouse. Okay, I become injured. I take Jane, my wife or spouse, to the law. It would be set up in the paperwork legally, Jane Doe versus John Doe, or flip that, John Doe versus Jane Doe, because I'm probably going to sue Jane Doe for damages to me, the human being. John Doe versus Jane Doe, a human being versus another human being, right? Now, in many cases, I'm sure you've heard this before, where whatever state the person is residing in, it would be a different case, where the state of California versus John Doe, or the state of Georgia versus whomever, or the state of Florida versus whomever, or the state of New York versus whomever. Who is the state, ladies and gentlemen? The state is not a human being. So how can something that is not a human being be suing, be charging, if you will, an actual human being? That's not lawful. That is a trick that's done by the legal system. Okay, the state of California versus John Doe. Who is the state? Is the state a living, breathing entity? No, it is not. The state of Georgia is not a living, breathing entity. No, it is not. New York is not a living, breathing entity. So it can't come to court and defend itself against John Doe or whomever. I hope I'm not losing you here. You can't take something that's fictitious, that does not live and breathe, and pit it against some living, breathing human being. In the case of California, state of California versus a living, breathing John Doe. How do you do that? That's the question. But it's done every day, and it's been done every day for many, many, many decades. So this is just something for you to think about. What I just told you is a practice that's been done in so-called legal system for a long time, and it is actually not lawful. It's not, but they call it legal. there's a difference between law and legal. The real law emanates, it comes from the law maker and giver. That's the creator. Everything else was created and made by man down here for his benefit. So, even though we have something called a legal system, but it's not predicated on the actual law that comes from the Creator, the Most High. Something for you to ponder. So a state actually cannot sue you. A state cannot imprison you, even though they do. Not lawfully, they can't. So they themselves have been breaking the law since their inception. They have. Now, there's some legal people, some people in law that are watching this. Perhaps they're going to try to refute what I just said. They're going to try to argue what I just said. There is no argument, because if you want to go down a rabbit hole with me on this subject, the next time I come to respond to those statements, I'm bringing your law that shows you that you are not practicing actual law or carrying out actual law. It's something else. It's de facto. Means that it has appearance to be law, but in actuality it is not. It is something else. So if you care to research this, please do your due diligence, and don't be that person sitting on the fence, standing outside in the yard, looking through the window, trying to pass judgment on someone when you have not done your own research and your own study. I just sort of skimmed the surface here right now, just to give you something to ponder. What I just told you is based on real life. It's based on the truth. I didn't make it up. It's on the record. It's in the books. It's in their books. People just won't do enough digging to find it. If you care to know, do your own research. Thank you.